Welcome to Guitar Theory booklet number 1, entitled Diatonic Scales, Intervals, and Triads. Now this booklet and video is the first in a series of booklets and videos that we will be putting together for you so that you can study the whole concept of theory applied directly to the guitar. Okay, so to start off with, the first thing you want to do is go down into the link on the description and click there to get your free booklet. Okay, so starting out, we're going to start off with what we call the major scale. The major scale is made up of whole steps and half steps. So a whole step on the guitar is 2 frets. A half step on the guitar is 1 fret. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to show you where those whole steps and half steps lie in the scale. So first of all, we play the note. We're using C as a basis. And then we're going to a whole step, a half step, a whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And you can hear that creates do, re, mi major scale, which we all probably should have at least heard and understand how it sounds. Okay, so that's basically how the scale is created. We're also going to do that scale going across the string the way we would more normally play it as a scale study or exercise. So C would be the note, and a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half steps. And now we're going to talk about diatonic intervals. The term diatonic means within the scale. The diatonic interval usually refers to the major scale and uses the root note as the constant. We're going to use C as our beginning point or our root note for the intervals. And we're going to play the scale using and naming the intervals. So the first one is C to D is called a major second. C to E is a major third. C to F is a perfect fourth. C to G is a perfect fifth. C to A is a major sixth. C to B is a major 7, and C to C is a perfect octave. Now we're going to talk about diatonic triads. A triad is a 3-note chord starting from the root note. In the major scale, there is a triad formed from each note of the scale. Each note becomes the root note of the triad. The triad uses the root note, which is 1, we call it 1, the third, and the fifth. Okay, there are 3 types of triads used in the diatonic scale. We will be using C as the example. So there is the major triad, which is 1, 3, 5. In this case, it's C, E, G. The 1 flat 3, 5, C, E flat, G. For the minor triad, and for the diminished triad is 1 flat 3 flat 5. Diatonic triads are designated with Roman numerals, using capitals for the major and lowercase for the minor and a little 0 for the diminished. Okay, so these Roman numerals are used to name all the chords in the triads in the diatonic scale. So we start off with the C major triad, 1, 3, 5. D minor triad, 1 flat 3, 5. E minor triad, 1 flat 3, 5. F major triad, 1, 3, 5. G major triad, 1, 3, 5. A minor triad, 1 flat 3, 5. B diminished triad, 1 flat 3, flat 5, and then back to the octave C major triad, 1, 3, 5. So to play it in an order for you, you can hear it. 1 chord, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. And it creates a scale in triads. Okay. Now we can do that also in the open position using fingerings that are more common to us. Most of us probably know these chords, but if we're studying them and understanding them, how they fit into a key or a scale, then it's another story. So we're going to start with the C, C major, that's a 1, 3, 5, D minor, that's a 1 flat 3, 5, and then E minor, and then F major, and then G major, then A minor, then B diminished, and then back to C. Okay. Now we're going to talk about diatonic chord progressions. There are commonly used chord progressions in songs using the major scale. These we call diatonic chord progressions. A diatonic chord progression can be played as an arpeggio also. In other words, 1 note at a time. We're not going to do that today. We'll save that for another video. But what we're going to do is talk about commonly used diatonic chord progressions. So the first one is 4, 5, 1. In 4, 5, 1 in the key of C is F, G, C. Okay. 2, 5, 1 is commonly used progression, and that one is D minor, G, and C. 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, often called a turnaround progression, is very commonly used. 3, 6, 2, 5, and 1. And then also commonly use similar progression. Instead of using the 3, we start from the 1 and we play 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. Now the 7 chord, the diminished chord, can be substituted for the 5 chords leading back to the 1 chord. So it would be, instead of playing G to C, we could play 7, which would be B diminished C. And that can be substituted anywhere in here. And also a 4 chord and a 2 chord are very interchangeable. So instead of it being a 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, it could be a 1, 6, 4, 5, 1. And so that's the basic theory, applied theory to the guitar, number 1. So don't forget to go down to the link below and click on it and get your free booklet.